If Joe Biden were to run for president for a second term, it would not be possible. It can't work. The first time around, Joe Biden was calling a lid every week. He was sleeping in his basement or something to that effect.
And he could get away with it with COVID. That was the reason he didn't have to go out.
But I think you guys are underestimating how appealing he is to the American people.
You might be right.
He's a sly devil. The way he sounds, the way he speaks,
the way he sniffs.
I get it.
I don't know the way he smells. Yeah, I've never been close to him, close enough to touch his hand.
I haven't.
He smells like
the
mung beans or something.
You don't want to be, because Ian, I got to be honest. If you were at an event and Joe Biden saw you from behind, with your long,
you don't need to finish that statement. I'm okay with where you were headed.
You know exactly where I'm going.
What's the next story? Oh, what are we?
No, this is
it. Be like, think about graphene. Think about graphene.
I might have to change my Twitter profile. I've got Biden smelling me from behind on my Twitter profile page.
He's like, it's corn pop. He's back.
Think about how funny it would be though. Like Biden would go up behind Ian and then grab his shoulders and go,
"You're not."
And
who
then,
I thought.
but then Ian would be like, "Yo, I'm a guy," and Biden would be like, I know.
Starts feeling your long leg hair.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's rubbing your legs.
Ian would astral project out of his body.
Yeah.
That would be it.
Okay, but in all seriousness, in 2020, there were a lot of excuses about why Biden should have run, why he could win. I didn't buy them, but a lot of people were they really hated Trump. Well, now a lot of people really hate Joe Biden. His approval rating is as low as it's ever been. MSNBC is like, despite the booming economy, people, people don't like Joe Biden. But imagine Joe Biden running again against who? That's why I'm like, honestly, don't give him Trump. Give him DeSantis.
Yes, give him DeSantis. Because they hated Trump because he was Trump. People dislike or hate Biden because of what his policies have been doing to them directly.
Amen.
And that right there is the difference. Whereas if you had Ron DeSantis run, you get rid of everything about Trump that people hate. And now instead you can focus on the policies that people loved in Florida and people fled to en masse in Florida because they were trying to get away, like I did from Philadelphia, of the crazy leftist policies.
Oh, you're in Florida now?
No, I'm over in Indiana.
Oh, okay. So you know what? I think about it though. Trump should run because we're at the point now where I'm pretty sure enough people are going to look at Biden and Trump and go, I'm not making that same mistake twice.
Yeah.
And then not only do you get Trump back in office to be the raging bull storming through the ivory tower, but you get to say, I told you so to all of those people who turn around and said, yeah, okay, we made a mistake with that one.
See, I look at DeSantis though, because whether, and like the whole don't say gay bill, which isn't actually a bill that says you can't say don't say gay, right? He was smart in the way he put that bill into place because he is making the left now respond in kind to him and say, we want to teach our kids this in school. And your average parent is like, you're teaching what to my K through third grader? No, I don't think so. Whereas Trump would just go out and be like, what's the headline for the day? What can I go after and smash with a hammer? And now we have a chance to put somebody like
JFK.
A little bit, yeah. Now we have a chance to put Ron DeSantis in front where he could have the chance to lead on policy and get the progressive left to answer that.
I'd rather have DeSantis, to be completely honest, because of what the latest news that he's calling a special legislative session
for the redistricting.
No, for for constitutional carry.
Oh, okay.
Jeez. So wow. So Ron DeSantis was like, yeah, we're gonna do a special session. Come in, vote on everyone being able to carry guns without permits, and you can just buy and conceal and everything. And it's just like, you didn't have to do that. I already liked you. Yeah. But I like this a lot. So bring that to the federal government. Yep. I'd love to see him be like, as president, one of my agenda items for this is repealing the NFA. Imagine if he came out and he just issued an executive order, a moratorium on ATF action against NFA items. I don't know if you'd go that far, but let's tell him to do it.
Yeah, so let's give him a shot.
In all honesty,
Ron, if you're listening, the CDC called you. Anything's possible. Maybe he's going to give us a buzz.
Somebody said I should have answered the phone as Dr. Fauci.
Am
I needed again?
I'll
be there.
Do you know who this is,
all
Tony?
Are you policies right now?
Are you wearing your masks?
My concern with DeSantis is that the media's started their smear campaign against him now with this "Don't Say Gay" crap. But it's not that they haven't done it with Trump, so it's like not any worse.
But they tried to do it with him during COVID too, and it failed. Like they really tried to make DeSantis look like he had four heads, he was going to kill grandma, and that the state was going to burn into flames, and yet.
That's a good point.
You even had AOC partying maskless in Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody can see that the progressives and the Democrats are being led by hypocrites and liars.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have people, and look, the media can propagandize the public all they want. People are decently intelligent. They're going to notice that the folks living in the states that everyone is leaving are telling you not to vote for the guy who ran the state everyone has been trying to move to. And to your point, Brian, Ian, I guess to Ian's point, but bouncing off what Brian said a moment ago, you're correct that the media started a smear campaign against them with the parental rights and education bill, but all they did was make themselves look really bad.
Especially at the Oscars. That was really obnoxious.
They brilliant play from the Republicans on this one. The parental rights and education bill says no secret conversations, no withholding medical information, and no specific sex ed kind of talk for kindergarten to third grade. The initial bill on the website said pre-K, but the bill itself says kindergarten, so there's a bit of a confusion there. We were saying pre-K for a while. I checked the actual language of the bill, it says kindergarten, so that's a correction, but also the Florida.gov website does say pre-K, so I don't know where that split is coming from. But imagine now, you look at the tweets, like David Hogg tweeted this, where he was like, here's a quote from the bill, sounds like don't say gay to me. And I'm just like, but that quote you posted also prohibits straight discussions as well. And I'm just like, I don't understand why these people are so hell-bent on having sex conversations with children.
Yeah, don't say sex would be a better name.
Well, it's such a weird thing to look for in a bill, too. You hear there's a parental rights bill. They're like, but is this going to make it more difficult to have conversations with children in secret about gay sex? Like, we need to make sure that that's not the case. Otherwise, it's just a massive violation of our rights.
But the crazy part is, it's not about gay. It's about literally anything.
Yes, exactly.
So like,
control.
You can't go in Florida to a classroom and be like, mommies and daddies love each other and get married. Nope, you can't do that. This bill prevents that. And the people who supported it, most people support it because they're like, yeah, that makes sense. That's big to me, though. When you see the polling showing that it's like, 60 some odd % supported the parental rights and education bill.
With the horrendous framing that we examined.
It means people are starting to break through the lies, which is kind of why I'd love to see a Trump-Biden rematch. DeSantis, I think, is better in a lot of ways, to be completely honest.
Way better.
But he is. I mean, he's younger. He's more in. I think he's more in tune. This constitutional carry thing, that's just so fantastic. But what he's doing with Florida is just wonderful, and people are chatting, being like, "Don't take him away from us in Florida."
Yeah, but that's actually a really interesting. No, that's a really interesting.
Trump can be governor of Florida.
Yeah, we'll send him down there.
Oh my God!
First of all, I'm in charge. Now the greatest state. But I mean, can you? How much better? And granted, I am not downplaying the necessity of having the right person in the Oval Office, but I do think there is something to be said for this idea that DeSantis is really extremely powerful in Florida. And imagine how much better this country would be if other political leaders just followed suit and behaved like him in their states. If Republican governors in other parts of the country actually had some guts and developed a spine and stood up for their people the way Ron DeSantis has, the country would be so. I mean, I think that would do more good for the country than even a DeSantis presidency would.
He's got balls.
Yeah, is New York ending the vax mandates now? I
heard they did.
I guess, yeah.
So that's I give it to DeSantis. It's because of people like him, particularly him, that the country has been able to dodge a proverbial bullet of having to jab ourselves when now we're acknowledging that you don't really need it.
Yep. So and he goes, and I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
but
go
like
ahead.
This goes back to, and I've been pushing this a lot in my program. Instead of responding to narratives, setting the narratives. And that's where DeSantis has been killing it. He is not responding to, leftist makes an argument and they're full force, and now conservatives, libertarians, anybody right of center is now playing defense. Instead, DeSantis is playing offense. We're seeing Republicans play offense, libertarians playing offense, and now you're seeing the left scramble because they're not used to having to actually explain, wait, why do you want to teach kids sex when they're in kindergarten? Like, that wasn't
and
a
have
conversation.
secret conversations and have secret conversations with children.
Right. Now, and I have a fun little expression like you use, when you're explaining, you're losing. The left is explaining now. And now that they're in this trap of having to unwind this massive web that they have made of just insanity, your average person, and I keep on going back to the average person because I think this is who we should be talking to. They're looking at what's happening and they're like, this is insane. I don't want to teach my kids sex when they're in kindergarten. And even if that's a conversation to have, let me have it. Let me determine when that's going to be.
So all the more reason why we all like Ron DeSantis and what's happening in Florida, why so many people are moving there. But just in terms of, going back to the original subject, was Joe Biden running? We also need to consider that if Joe Biden can't run for president, that means the Democrats need to announce in a month or two that because they're going to have to start setting up their primary candidates.
Yep.
So 2023 is primary season, and if it's not going to be Biden, could you imagine Biden trying to campaign? He's going to be 80.
Yeah. So what you're saying is
81
I
when he's
need to release all of the Biden cartoons we've been working on within like the next month or so before he's gone.
Yeah. You're going to have like this really great 12 minute
I've been working
animation on Biden.
No, I have a 12-part miniseries on him, hour-long episode.
Come on, man.
I
mean, your Biden singing the greatest hits got like how many? You get
almost to a million, 800,000 at this point.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun.
If not Biden,
it is sad, funny. You know what I mean? Like
it's sad. It's
sad.
dangerous too.
That's the thing.
Although
Like
that word's kind of vague.
I like poke fun at him. I try not to be too cruel, because on some level, you feel bad for the guy. His brain just doesn't work. But at the same time, it is really hysterical that everyone is avoiding saying that he clearly has dementia. First, they were saying he had a stutter. Now they're saying it's because he's Irish. He says these ridiculous things. I mean,
he called for regime change in
hysterical.
Russia because he's Irish, and so he
Irish.
understands empathy. And I'm like, is that like a genetic Irish thing?
Let's send the IRA in, man.
Oh my God.
I don't have.
I got a brand new shiny helmet and a pair of kinky
None of
boots.
that. No, I didn't say that.
I don't have the same kind of sympathy for this guy because if you get behind the wheel of a car, for instance, and you're blind and you end up killing someone, I have no sympathy
I hear
for
you, bro. I agree with you on that, but I almost think he's to the point where someone else had to have put him there. I just don't know that he's competent enough to have made the decision to place himself in that position.
It's like you have somebody in the back seat of the car. They're like, they got Joe Biden in the front seat. They're like, all right, there's a turn up here to the left. Turn now. And he's like, what? Where? Tree? And he just goes off into the ravine. But like,
Whose turn is it?
No, but
whose turn is it anyways?
Ian, I would agree with you. I think my point is more or less, and really what I'm trying to get at is if this was anyone else, if I were to see any other person experiencing that kind of cognitive decline, it would just make me sad. I wouldn't really find much to poke fun at. But because this man is literally the leader of the country, and everyone's trying to pretend that he's not only fit, but that he's like the best. They can't just claim that he's fit. He's like the best president ever. It's a booming economy, according to MSNBC. Why don't people like him? And the man can't finish a single sentence without saying something ridiculous or stammering or slurring.
Everyone should imagine the emperor, the Emperor's New Clothes story. And it's the emperor who ends up walking down the street naked with everyone pretending like he's not. But now
we have social media.
Take that story.
Take a video
take
of it.
that story again and replace the emperor with Biden. And not only is the emperor wearing no clothes, but he's demented.
Yep.
And he's like fumbling about, confused, and someone's holding his hand as he goes. "Arr."
No sympathy
And
for
he's
me.
sniffing
You
him.
remove people like
He's
that from
sniffing
power
him.
immediately. That is a danger to our
Yes,
society.
absolutely. No, he should.
Could you
yes,
imagine?
He should absolutely be removed.
Yo. So they're all like, nuclear war is coming, Russia and everything, right? And, Russia's going to shut off gas, and they're flying planes with nukes on them. Could you imagine if Vladimir Putin is in his nuclear bunker and he's like, fire missile on Kiev? And then NATO generals calls and they're like, Mr. President, Russia has fired an ICBM towards Ukraine. Should we retaliate? Yeah, man, hit Libya, take them out. And they're like, Libya, sir, come on, man. And they're like, all right, I guess we're nuking Libya.
You know what Biden's first reaction would be if he heard that news? He'd be like, oh, it would be disappointment because he's a lame loser.
Really, Putin?
That's a 20, man.
Yeah. Listen. When Joe Biden was talking about Syria back at like the G7 or whatever, he kept calling it Libya.
Yep.
And I'm like, yo, people downplay this. When Peter Doocy was asking questions to Biden, he said, it seemed like you said this and it seemed like you said this. And Biden's like, never happened. It's like, Biden, you're only lying to yourself because everyone in the world heard you say it. Imagine if he's in private with a general. Where should we retaliate? Libya, man. It's like, Libya, are you sure? Are you sure? You heard me. It's like, okay, the president said nuke Libya. And then you're like, no, Moscow, Joe. Is a journalist going to pop up and go, Joe Biden actually meant to say Moscow?
Well,
the
Tim,
generals then say, okay, we'll change the trajectory.
I can't allow you to spread this paranoid misinformation. Joe Biden's geriatric nurse would be there to let the general know he's having a senior moment and that he actually means something else. Do you think they're sending the man around without a translator? You're out of your mind.
So the nurse is in
Translator.
Yo, I know some old... Trump is old, and he is spry.
Yeah, it's true.
The thing about Trump is he wouldn't accidentally tell you to nuke the wrong place. No. He'd tell you to hit Moscow kind of early. He'd be like, I don't want to deal with it. If he's going to nuke it, hit him first. They went into Ukraine.
Done it before he invaded. He'd be like, just in case.
Yeah. No, I don't think Trump would have actually nuked Moscow.
No. I'm kidding.
But there's that uncertainty. Like even Trump was saying 5-10%. You don't. This guy's kind of crazy.
He's like, if I'm honest, I 10% might have done it. Like I might have nuked him. He's like, I was thinking. I'm not. I was thinking about it. I really was.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was. Or he just knows how to do the big ask, and he goes to Xi and he goes to Putin and says, "Do it, and I'll nuke you." And Joe Biden can only just say, "Come on, man."
Come on, or no, you don't got a soul. Is what he claims. He looked Putin in the eye and he told that bully, "You don't have a soul," as if Vladimir Putin is just this really introspective guy who was like, well, if Joe Biden doesn't think I have soul, perhaps I'm doing something wrong.
This is a good cartoon you could make, though, where like in Biden's mind, he's like ripped and he like walks up to Putin and he's like, "Listen here, chum. You ain't got no soul, no malarkey." And Putin's like, "Oh, please, Mr. Biden, please." And then like in reality, he's like, "Hey, you know, soul man." And then Putin's like,
Putin's on the horse.
He called me a soul man?
He's like, "I'm a soul man." That's the thing. Putin, but it's like, so what he told him he's mean? You told the foreign leader he's mean? Thank you, Joe.
This is why they claim we push Russian propaganda, because we're sitting here making fun of our president, acting like Putin is not, you know.
But then he shouldn't act like an idiot. Maybe if our president didn't have dementia, we would be making fun of Putin instead.
And we made fun of Trump, too. When
And we made
Trump
fun
was
of Trump.
being fun of.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
frankly, I was thinking, I thought maybe today I will hit the button. I don't know. We'll think about it. It's just a thought. I didn't say I would do it. Ian, you mentioned something earlier, because you were saying that Biden will simply say, "I didn't say that, man."
Yeah.
Even though everyone knows he didn't. It's on camera. You made a point earlier about how that could just be an issue with members of his generation. They don't expect everything to be filmed. They don't. I mean, I find with most public personalities under the age of 40, when someone calls them out for something they said, they're usually embarrassed about it, or they start to offer an explanation. They won't say, "I never said that."
Yeah, if I
so
truly
I think you're onto something
didn't
there.
know that I said, if someone said, "You said something," and I'm like, "No, I don't think so," and they're like, "Yes, you did," I'd be like, "Okay, show me the footage so I can verify that you're right here." And I would eat it. You'd have to. What are you going to do? I'm not going to lie to people.
Yeah, but
it's
not. It's just that Joe
But in
Joe
another culture,
Biden. You'd show Joe Biden the video, and he'd be like, "What am I looking at?" And he'd be trying to like look at it and everything, and then he'd be
Pull the
like,
phone up.
"Joe,
So
this is you saying you would use chemical weapons," and he goes, "What? No, I never said that."
That's
You'd be
not
like,
me.
He's gonna go, "No,
Yeah.
man, that's a deep pancake, man. That's one of them. They put your face on it.
a deep cake.
Deep cake, man. I didn't say that.
I'm still gonna make fun of Joe Biden after he's president too. That's for sure.
Well, no, I mean,
Maybe
look,
it'll be less relevant
the
though.
left ripped on Reagan
stand
for
that guy.
decades after he left office, and I remember this joke. They said it over and over again. Oh, how hilarious, how stupid that the Republicans had a president who was experiencing cognitive decline. It's
It
like,
was a
well,
Family
you
Guy
guys
skit.
chose. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, you guys. That was
Reagan
towards the end of his
smash.
presidency. You guys chose Joe Biden knowing he was demented. He wasn't president of that. Like, there was an out, and you still picked him.
Oh, that was
Yo,
weird.
man, that's how. Have you guys see the story that the Army is reducing its enlistment expectations?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Partly.
the-
I
I
guess
didn't
the commercial about having two moms didn't work. That's
Didn't
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me see if I can find it. You know, so but anyway, my point is kind of wrapping up the Joe Biden thing. I forgot where I was going with it because now I want to talk about the
I heard that it's because of the botched Afghanistan surrender. Let's call it a surrender because that's what it was. We surrendered all $800 billion worth of equipment to
Sandy,
the
yeah.
enemy.
Amen.
And hastily left a bunch of people there. That's the reason people are not signing up for the military now because they don't trust it.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.